What's up, y'all? It's your man Derek Andre, and you're watching Who is Derek Andre TV on YouTube. And let's talk about superstitions. This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. All right, y'all. Welcome to Totally Disgusted. I am your host, Derek Andre, and we're going to totally discuss superstitions today. We're going to talk about their origins and if you believe in them or not, and the places that are the most superstitious. All right. So first of all, let's talk about what a superstition is. All right. Let's talk about what a superstition is. So a superstition. Now, first of all, I always felt like black people were were the most superstitious people on the planet, but apparently we are not, and we'll get to that a little bit later. All right. So superstitions are, hold on, I'm coming up to it, y'all. I had to pull it up. I forgot to pull it up. I pulled up all this other stuff, but I didn't pull up the definition of superstitious. All right. So the definition of superstitious or superstitions is being related to or swayed by superstition. All right. So they use the same word in the definition. But anyway, what that boils down to is that you believe in certain things based upon like the history of it. It's been something that was passed down throughout the years, over time, from generation to generation, from culture to culture, about what's good luck, what's bad luck, and certain things like that. All right. So that's basically what superstitions are. Okay. It makes you believe in something based solely upon the fact that somebody else believed it and something bad happened because this person walked under a ladder, this, that, and the other. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to talk about some superstitions. We're going to talk about where they're from, all right, from across the world, and how they became superstitions, all right? So what I did was I just Googled superstitions from around the world. And guess what? Google was kind enough to show me this. I appreciate Google sometimes. Here we go. All right, superstitions from around the world. All right, from rabbit's feet to broken mirrors. Try your luck with these supernatural stories from around the world. All right, so we're going to go through these, and then we're going to talk about which countries are the most superstitious, and then I'm going to ask you how you feel about superstitions. All right, so let's go. All right, so the first one, as you can see, says, irrational as they may be, we all have a superstition or two. We do, which is true. Whether it's a lucky pair of pants or an aversion to Friday the 13th, superstitions are important to us because they give meaning to the often random nature of luck and puts us in the driving seat of our destiny. Here, we run through a few surprising cultural histories behind some of the world's most common supernatural beliefs. All right. So here we go. Knocking on wood. All right. Knocking on wood. That's number one. It is Indo-European, Celtic, or possibly British in its origin. Okay. It says any list of superstitions would have to begin arguably the most well-known and universal superstition to knock on wood. So when you're talking about somebody, man, and y'all having talking to somebody and y'all having a conversation, and you're like, oh yeah, man, man, I really hope this such and so don't happen to me. Yeah, man, me too. Shit, let me knock on wood. And you knock on wood because you believe that that's gonna bring you good luck. So let's read where the origin of knocking on wood came from. All right. It says the actual origins and even meanings of the phrase are as varied as the cultures which use it. with some suggesting roots in the Indo-European or Celtic belief that spirits, good and bad, reside in trees who could be either called upon for protection or chased away by knocking on their home, and others, particularly Christians, linking the practice to the magical power of the wooden crucifix. Most likely among the different theories, historians have attributed the superstition to a 19th century British children's game called Tiggy Touchwood, in which young players claimed immunity from being tagged by touching the nearest piece of wood. Adults picked up on the habit and the phrase the British still say touch wood today, and the rest is history. And so that's where knock on wood came from. So it was a game, a children's game. Now I remember growing up, they were saying that, that you had to touch wood to be safe. If you tag it, then when we played tag growing up, our tree in our neighborhood was the base. If you ran and y'all could be running all over the neighborhood, but if you could get back to that tree and you could tag that tree, you were safe. Now, at no point in my youth did I know that would have anything to do with what we're talking about right now. I think just the fact that the tree was the biggest thing that we could get to easily was the reason why we chose the tree as the base. But it is quite interesting that this was a game that kids used to play back in Britain, and they would run back to this tree to be immune from being tagged, from being caught. Interesting, all right? All right, knocking on wood. All right, so that's where it came from, Indo-European, Celtic, or possibly British. And that is the most interesting looking British dude I've ever seen. I don't know who is drawing these pictures. Y'all have absolutely no control over none of this stuff. I'm just looking at them and reading them as we go. But that's an interesting looking dude. Check him out, man. Look at that beard. Look at that beard. Yeah, he looked like he probably should knock on some wood. All right, what's next? What's the next one? The next one is throwing salt over your shoulder. Now, I've heard people talk about that. I've heard people say, yeah, throw a little salt over my shoulder. I never really. So let's see what it is. Throwing salt over your shoulder. All right. European/Christian, ancient Roman. Perhaps the most common superstition, at least in the West, involves tossing salt over one's shoulder. Like knocking on wood, this superstition also involves the idea of warding off evil. In this case, the devil himself. In Leonardo da Vinci, I almost said Leonardo DiCaprio. In Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, Jesus's betrayer, Judas, is portrayed as having accidentally spilled salt. Since Judas was associated with doing something bad, the argument goes that, ipso facto, so was salt. And throwing it over your shoulder would blind the devil waiting there. I never knew that. So if you want to keep the devil up off you, y'all listening? Because these demons be on us, boy. They be coming for us, man. If you want to keep the devil up off of you, you should probably just take a little pinch of salt and throw it over your shoulder. See, I never knew that about the Last Supper. And I had no clue about Judas and him wasting salt and then this salt. So, see, this is all new to me. I've heard of these superstitions, but I've never really understood the origin of where they came from. It's a lot of stuff in life that we have no clue of their origins. All right, so let's move on. All right, that was number 2, throwing salt over your shoulder. First we knocked on wood. Now we're throwing salt over your shoulder. All right, what's number 3? Number 3 is walking under a ladder. Now, I know that I have heard that for many, many years. I was a former construction worker, and boy, you'd be hell-bent to find somebody who would actually walk under a ladder on the job. You'd walk around the entire job site to avoid having to walk underneath a ladder. God forbid it was blocking the doorway, you might never go home. So let's see what the origins of walking under a ladder, where it comes from. European Christian, possibly Egyptian. All right, that's a twist. It says the superstition of not wanting to walk under a ladder also has roots in Christian symbolism. The Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit led to an association of the number 3 with something sacred. The triangle, with its 3 sides, came to be regarded as sacred as, I'm sorry, y'all, I know I can read, but it's hard to read because they put white font on a white background, so some of this stuff hard to read. So my apologies for stumbling through this stuff. It says the triangle with its 3 sides came to be regarded as sacred as well. And a ladder, of course, forms a triangle. So naturally, to walk under that ladder would be to destroy the sanctity of the Trinity and thus incur punishment. What? You mean to tell me all these years I've been avoiding walking under a ladder because it would be like basically crapping on the Holy Trinity? There's no way on God's green earth I would have ever, and I mean ever, put walking under a ladder in the same category with the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There's no way. I would have expected them to say anything else. That you don't walk under a ladder because you might bump it and the person who's actually working on the ladder might fall. You don't walk under a ladder because if it's a bucket of paint on top of the ladder, you might bump it and it might fall on top of you and then you're going to get paint on it. But for them to equate walking underneath a ladder because it forms a triangle, to equate that with the Holy Trinity, man, that's above my pay grade. I would have never in a million years thought that was the reason that the superstition of walking under the ladder exists. That's blowing my mind right there, y'all. All right, that's number 3. All right, number 4. The broken mirror. All right, the broken mirror. Now you know doggone well as many mirrors that you done broke in a house. Them little handheld mirrors, you drop that sucker, man, glass go everywhere. Yeah, man, they now you broke a mirror. That's 7 years bad luck. 7 years bad luck for breaking a mirror. Damn. I done broke maybe a couple mirrors in my life then because I done had a little run of bad luck sometimes. No, I'm just playing. I take that back, God. I take that back. All right, let's see where it came from. Broken mirror. That's number 4. Ancient Greek / Roman, European, etc. The belief that a broken mirror brings bad luck most likely has its origins in the simple fact that reflections of ourselves are uncanny and often unnerving, particularly on a bad hair day. So, wait a minute. So humans have long had bad associations with them. Take, for example, the Greek myth of Narcissus, or the idea that a crack in a mirror would somehow break its charm or trap one's soul. These Europeans is out of control, man. What? That's where the whole broken mirror set. Well, they ain't even say nothing about 7 years bad luck. That was one of the things, man. You break a mirror, somebody they say, oh, that's gonna be 7 years bad luck. But I'm these are not giving me the what am I trying to say here? It don't make sense to me. Let me just put it like, it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me that what they're saying doesn't match what I would think that breaking a mirror would go with. You know, I never knew. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, these Greeks and Europeans, boy, they got some. Whoo, whoo, whoo. All right, let me see what this got a little more. It's got some other stuff at the bottom. I'm gonna read some of these. I ain't gonna read all of them. This one says, it was ancient Romans, however, who contributed the notion that a broken mirror would bring 7 years of bad luck. Okay, that's what I was just talking about. I guess if I read further, I could get to that. 7 years of bad luck, since it was believed that only poor health would cause a mirror to crack. Damn. And the number 7 was seen by the Romans as the number of years required to complete a full life cycle of sickness and renewal. As a result, a broken mirror meant you were headed toward a death. Oh my God, headed toward a death spiral that might take 7 years to pull you out of. Jesus Christ. But then those same Romans felt you could prevent that horrible outcome by gathering the broken pieces of the mirror and burying them by moonlight. So should we really trust them about all the bad luck stuff? So you can basically, the antidote to the 7 years of bad luck for breaking a mirror was gathering up all the broken pieces and burying them by moonlight? Nah, I never heard that part before. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. I just need to look at a couple of things here. Cause see, I skipped some stuff, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie, cause I thought I didn't realize. So hold on, let me go back to the top. Real quick. All right, we're gonna go back to this dude is scary looking. All right, hold on. Which one was this? This was number 1, knock on wood. All right, let me go down real quick. It says, within superstition, there are subtle variations, and sometimes, this is knock on wood. Within the superstitions, there are subtle variations, and sometimes not so subtle varying origins. Italians touch steel rather than wood, perhaps more related to iron horseshoes. Poles and Russians touch unpainted wood. Turks knock twice. Latin Americans knock on wood with no legs. Oh, IG chairs. Okay, so they okay. It's best to memorize all of them before traveling. That's good to know. So in case you're going out the country. All right. So that was the finishing part. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really doing this ass backwards. I apologize. All right, the throwing the salt over the shoulder. What's this last part? It says, since other versions of the superstition, Old Scratch was thought to reside just over your shoulder. I'm assuming Old Scratch was the devil, ready to tempt you. The salt was thrown to the left. Okay, so you can't just throw it over any shoulder. You got to throw it over your left shoulder. Still, others say that the sheer value of salt alone in ancient times led to the belief that to spill it was to incur bad fortune, like among Romans, requiring corresponding ritual or the act of penance to prevent worse loss from occurring. So apparently salt was expensive back then, so it was even worse. Okay, all right, I'm getting it. All right, I'm getting it, y'all. Walking under the ladder. All right, what's this one? And then I'll be caught up after this. All right, walking under the ladder. The ladder's resemblance to a gallows also didn't help matters. A gallows is basically, I believe, where you get hung. If I believe that, if I'm saying that correctly. Nor did the fact that the obvious danger of something falling from it. See, I said that. Finally, the Egyptians apparently thought that one might accidentally spot a god going up or down the ladder, so avoided it. Must have made building all those tall pyramids difficult. I would say so. If you were scared you was gonna see a god go up the ladder. All right, so we back into the swing of things, y'all. We with the broken mirror. All right, what's number 5? Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Now this is an African European folklore. This is African European superstition. Step on the crack, break your mother's back. You used to hear that all the time as kids. We would do our best not to step on no cracks. And if you lived in the hood like I did, that was one hard ass game to play because all them sidewalks was broke to hell, man. You was going to step on a crack of some sort. So, mama, if I ever stepped on a crack and broke a fingernail or you chipped a tooth, anything, I apologize for, not being able to avoid all the cracks that was in the sidewalk. All right, let's go. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. African and European folklore. Another superstition involving something cracked or broken being associated with bad luck is the superstition of stepping on a crack as foretelling or even causing harm to a family member. As with mirrors, cracks in the earth, on the sidewalk, or almost anywhere, have long been seen as portals to the realm of the supernatural for both good and ill. To step on those cracks might be to invite or release unwelcome spirits into the world, ready to come and do one harm. Good Lord. All right, what the rest of it say? Oh, that was it. All right, so basically, if you stepped on a crack, you could open a portal. Man, they must have had some really good, narcotics back in then. They was coming up with some stuff, man. So step on a crack, break your mother's back was related to portals and bringing somebody in from some other realm to bring and do harm to a loved one. Man, that's deep. I had no idea that these superstitions had these kind of roots to them, man. These are deep. And this is stuff that growing up, we done all done. We done all stepped on the crack. We done all knocked. These are things that we've all done and had I didn't know. I ain't gonna say y'all didn't know, but I didn't know the origins of, so far, none of this stuff. Ain't none of this stuff. This is all beyond me. This got me tripping. All right, what's the next one? Lucky pennies. Ancient Rome, English, and American. The idea that finding a penny would bring good luck also originates in folk beliefs, in this case based on the idea that metal, regarded by many ancient cultures as quite valuable, was sent by the gods to protect those whom they favored. Pennies being made from metal, find them and you'll have good fortune. But be careful. Some say that the luck could break either way. Oh my God. And that if you find a penny tails up, you should turn it over and leave it for the next person, or you'll actually have bad luck. So, if you find a penny and you find it with the tails up, so on a penny, what's on the back of a penny in America? I think it's, I ain't got no penny around me right now. I forgot what's on the back of a penny in America, but there's a building. So if you find the penny like that, don't pick it up. Don't pick it up. God only knows how many pennies I done picked up. Because if I see a coin on the ground, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it a dime, a quarter, nickel. But I didn't know if you see like a penny or whatever denomination this coin is, if it was the tail part up, did you supposed to just flip it over for the next person? Had no clue, y'all. Had no clue. I'm learning something today. Lucky pennies. All right, next. What's next? Lucky horseshoe. Now, we done all heard about these lucky horseshoes. Oh, I used to hear back in the day, the cartoons talked about lucky horseshoes, stuff like that. So let's see what the origin behind the superstition of a lucky horseshoe is. Ancient Romans, Celtic / British Isles, and Europe. You Europeans, boy, y'all know y'all got some stuff going on. Another object commonly thought to be lucky is the horseshoe. Earliest origins of the horseshoe function as good luck charms reside in its volval shape, seen upside down, and the invocation of the pagan moon goddess Diana and her sacred vulva. With the pennies, metals being seen as both valuable and magical, iron in particular was thought by early Europeans as something capable of warding off evil spirits. And, as with the Romans and the lucky number 7, Horseshoes frequently featured 7 nail holes. Learn something new every day. I ain't know it had nothing to do with nobody's vulva. I ain't know it had nothing to do with nobody's vulva. That's a little. And boy, I'm telling you, boy, this stuff is eye-opening to me. You know, I can get the 7 and the lucky 7 and the 7 holes and that, but I didn't know that the upside down horseshoe had to do with somebody's vulva. Let me see if there's some more to this one or is it on to the next one. Oh, there's some more. All right. Said the most famous story of a horseshoe bringing good luck, however, refers to the story of Saint Dunstan, who apparently worked as a blacksmith prior to attaining sainthood. The story goes that one day, the devil rode into Dunstan's shop requesting new shoes for his horse. I didn't know the devil rode a horse. Dunstan, recognizing the devil, how you recognize the devil, played it off nonchalantly, and rather than nailing the shoe to the horse, nailed one to the devil's foot instead. God, dog, boy, you was playing with fire. Nailed one to the devil's foot instead. In agony, the devil agreed never to enter a house with a horseshoe nailed above the door if Dunstan would have simply agreed to remove the shoe. God, dog. So if you go in a lot of these country houses, you will see a horseshoe above the door. That's all because this dude had the cojones to nail a horseshoe to the devil's foot. How you pull that off? How you pull off nailing a horseshoe to the devil's foot? The devil ain't feel you grab his leg. How you nail and how many nails did he get in it? Did he get all 7 in there, or did he just get one and the devil was like, damn it, that hurt? But how did you get? I got so many questions, y'all. These ain't really answered nothing. He's giving me more questions. And then how he know who the devil was? And why would the devil need to? He went to just a random blacksmith shop to just get a horseshoe nailed on. I'm starting to question everything I know about life. All right, what's next? Friday the 13th. Oh Lord. Friday the 13th. Boy, Friday the 13th, and man, it done jacked up a whole lot of people. You know, especially the movie. You know, it was only 12 of the Friday the 13th movies and not 13. Are they coming out with another one? That's neither here nor there. All right. Here we go. Let me see if I can read this. It's got a lot of stuff going on behind it. Friday the 13th is European and Christian. These Europeans, boy, y'all got some stuff be going on in y'all heads, man. Like the number 7 for the Romans, magical significance has been attached to the number 13, but this time it's unlucky rather than lucky. The number 12 has frequently been seen as positive, 12 months of the year and 12 signs of the zodiac, for example, or the 12 days of Christmas and the 12 tribes of Israel. Naturally, making its nearest neighboring number to the north negative. Okay. Like other superstitions surrounding the Last Supper, the 13th is also seen as unlucky because, once again, the great betrayer Judas was the 13th member of the dinner party that led to Christ's crucifixion. Dude couldn't catch a break. I agree with you wholeheartedly. In addition, on Friday the 13th of October 1307, King Philip IV of France arrested and put to death hundreds of Templar knights. All right, let's see what else it says. Oh, that was it. So the number 13 basically goes back to the Last Supper. And Judas, being the 13th man, he probably didn't have no invitation, man. He probably didn't have no he was the one, you know how you go to the restaurant and they had like the nice even number of chairs at the table, and then it's that one eyeball ass person that's sitting on the corner because they had to drag a chair from another table. Yeah, that sounded like that was Judas, man. Judas, Y'all should have known better, man. Everything about Judas seemed like it was giving signs of this dude is bad luck and we need to get the hell away from him. That's what it sounded like to me as it pertains to Judas and this Last Supper. And Europeans, y'all really, I don't know what y'all got going on, but y'all these concepts that y'all got is something else. Black cats, European black cats. Let's see what they say about the black cat. Though cats have often been associated with good luck rather than its opposite, and were even worshipped as gods in ancient Egypt, things took a turn for the worse for our dark-colored feline friend sometime around the Dark Ages when, in 1232 AD, a papal bull by Pope George the Ninth. What's IX? Is that 9? 10 is X. Is IX 9? I think IXI would be 11. So I'm going to say 9. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, let me know in the comments. Pope George declared them an incarnation of Satan, according to People magazine. So why he do that? Things only went downhill for black cats from there. You don't say. This dude that said they're an incarnation of Satan. What the hell you thought was going to happen with black cats? With the people of the Middle Ages burning them in bonfires on holy days like Shrove Tuesday, the first Sunday of Lent, and even Easter, and with the Puritans in America connecting them to the practice of witchcraft. Also, the color black has long been associated with evil. Now, I'm starting to take offense to this shit. Has long been associated with evil and death, which didn't help matters for our furry friends who had the misfortune of being born the color of night. Now, what the? So basically, these Europeans just decided that we gonna take the black cats. Cats wasn't bothering no damn body. They wasn't bothering no damn body. These damn Europeans that decided that they gonna determine that a black cat is the damn incarnation of Satan. So who's the incarnation of Satan if y'all burning damn cats? Them cats ain't bothering nobody. Look at that little cat. I ain't no fan of cats, but I'm not gonna set their ass on fire. Come on, man. I'm telling you, man, I'm starting to read these damn Europeans. Every damn one. There was only one that had African in it. Everything else been Europeans and the Celtics and all that. Yeah, man, they burning up damn cats. Man, what the hell wrong with y'all? Just because it was born dark. This taking a terrible turn, y'all. This supposed to be about superstition. I'm starting to feel my damn inner goddamn. Okay, let me relax. All right, let me relax. All right. Cross fingers. We're going to go to cross fingers. This can't possibly have nothing to do with being dark. Fingers crossed. Western Europe, pagan and Christian. The superstition of crossing one's fingers, bringing the lucky finger crosser good luck, comes from the pre-Christian pagan times in Western Europe, when the practice of making a cross with your own... What? Did I read that right? The superstition of crossing one's fingers, bringing the lucky finger crosser good luck, comes from the pre-Christian pagan times in Western Europe, when the practice of making a cross with your own and the index finger of... making a cross with your own and index finger of another person was thought to concentrate the forces of good spirits and to seal a pact or a wish with the fellow crosser. To seal a pact or wish with the fellow crosser. Over time, people realized that they could simply bless their own wishes by crossing fingers, first with two index fingers, and then later simply by the index finger and the middle finger of one hand, which is what we do today. So it used to be that you took one finger, you crossed the finger with another person, and that y'all both get good luck. Then you would cross. What other fingers was crossing with it? Let me see. Index finger with concentrate with that. Okay. Over time, people realized they could simply bless their own wishes by crossing their two index fingers. Oh, like this, and these index fingers. And then the index and the ring finger. So now it's like this. Okay. All right. So it's just some shit some people believed in, and they just been doing it over years. So then we believe that that's good luck. We crazy, ain't we? We crazy as a species of living things. We crazy. We just be believing shit just for the sake of believing shit. Just for the sake of believing shit. There is no scientific backing on none of this shit. And we just be believing it, telling our kids, passing this shit on for generation and generations to come. What is wrong with people? Let's go on. We got 8 more. That's number 10. Cross fingers. Oh, some more to it. Another narrative pins the practice on early Christians who would greet and identify one another in secret with various symbols like crossing the index finger, touching thumbs, etc. Though this explanation does not have virtue of accounting for the association with good luck. Okay, Christians. We been watching y'all. Y'all got some cult-like shit going on. All right, what's next? Chewing gum at night. All right, now y'all getting into something I ain't never heard of. Chewing gum at night. Turkey. Have you ever had an irrational fear of accidentally consuming dead flesh? Well, in Turkey, it is thought that after dark, chewing gum is magically transformed, like the Mogwai in the movie Gremlins, who turn into the titular monsters if they eat after midnight, into the flesh of the dead. There's something wrong with these folks, man. So chewing gum at night is gonna magically turn into the flesh of the dead if you chew it after midnight. I see what's wrong with modern society. We fucked up. The number of 4. China. Okay, Chinese, you going to redeem us because these Europeans, I don't know what's going on with them. As we've seen with numbers like the 13 and 7, numbers are frequently assigned different magical significance or status depending on the culture in question. For the Chinese, the number 4 is a no-no due to the similarity in its pronunciation in Chinese to the word death. So what's the word death in Chinese? Hold on, let me look that up. Hold on, I gotta see what the word death is in Chinese. Hold on, let me see what the word death is in Chinese. Let me see. Hold on. I'll come back to that in just a second. Let me see what the word death is in Chinese. See how close it is to 4. Death in Chinese. That shit, how you pronounce it? Okay, hold on. Let me see.
死亡
That don't sound like. So how you say 4 in Chinese? Death in Chinese is
死亡
Suwang. Okay, how do you say 4 in Chinese? Four in Chinese.
4
Si. I don't see the similarities. I don't see the similarities. I don't see the similarities in that. That just don't make no sense to me. I don't get it. So if you say that the word four for the number four in Chinese sounds like death, okay, I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I just sounded it out, and yeah, it didn't sound like death to me. They sound like they was like part of it Su or Si, and the other was Suai. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, it didn't sound the same to me. But hey, I ain't Chinese, so my opinion don't matter. Okay, my opinion don't matter. All right, next, number 13. We got 5 more, y'all. 5 more. We almost there. Writing love letters. See, I don't know nothing about these. Writing love letters to Juliet Capulet. How you say that? Capulet. Oh, from Romeo and Juliet. Writing love letters. How is this a superstition? From Italy. In Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the male member of the doomed pair of lovers was known to frequent the foot of Juliet's balcony in order to send up his nightly entreaties and missives of love. At the Casa di Giulietta, I think that's how you say it, in Verona, Italy, where the Capuletti family supposedly lived in Via Capello 23, visitors can write their own love letters to and even rub the right breast of the nearby statue of Juliet. The fuck? This is all done in hopes of earning her favor, like Romeo of long ago, even if the pair themselves were not so lucky. I'm going to ask the question that I know y'all thinking. Why you had to rub a titty? I don't understand the significance of having to rub the statue of Juliet's titty. That don't make no sense to me. What exactly is that supposed to what is that supposed to accomplish? Rubbing on the right titty of a statue. 14. Curse of the evil eye. Mediterranean and Middle East. I ain't never heard of these. I'm pretty sure these last few are going to have absolutely no bearing on my life because I ain't never heard of them. But we're going to go on through them anyway. Curse of the evil eye. Mediterranean and Middle East. It's a common belief spanning the Mediterranean, Middle East, and South Asia that's been held for thousands of years that to achieve too much success would be to invite the anger or inspire the envy of the gods, who would then smite the unfortunate individual with the reversal of fortune. In response to the fear of this curse, people across ancient Mediterranean began fashioning amulets and beads with an image of an evil eye, sometimes referred to as Nazars, which would then help them ward off the horrible, untoward fate. What kind of gods do y'all be believing in, man? What kind of God would be envious because you made it, because you successful? I'm not knocking nobody's belief system, but I'm starting to really question some things, man. If you achieve too much success, you are inviting the envy of the gods. What the gods got to be envious of, man? Get your hustle on, gods. What y'all got to be envious of? If they can do it, you can do it too. You a god. You ain't even got to work as hard. Why you envying people? Man, our society, man, as a whole, man, jacked up, man. Number 15. What's number 15? Tucking thumbs inside of a cemetery. Tucking thumbs inside of a cemetery. Japan. Like the fear of the word for, so you know for in China, they don't like the word for in China because it sounds like death in Chinese. Hinging on the similarity in its pronunciation, the Chinese word for death, the Japanese similarly tuck their thumbs when in a cemetery visiting the graves of dead relatives. This comes from the connection between the Japanese word for thumb and its meaning as the parent finger. To tuck in one's thumb inside of a cemetery, then, is to protect one's parents from death. So that means you got to go in the cemetery like this? How you supposed to hold the flowers if you taking flowers? Ain't it easy just to not go to the cemetery? How long you supposed to keep your thumbs tucked? The whole time you in there? Like this? That's how you gotta go to the Chinese cemetery. You gotta take your thumb. You gotta put it down in there. Okay. Hey man, to each his own. Tuck your thumbs. Go off. All right, what's next? Giving yellow flowers. Yeah, I'm glad we ain't got but two more of these because these is weird. Them first ones I understood. I don't understand none of these. Giving yellow flowers. This is Russian. Like numbers, colors have frequently been assigned symbolic significance, like black being seen as the color of bad luck and red the color of passion. In Russia, yellow flowers in particular are seen as problematic as they are thought to represent infidelity, separation, or even death. God dog. Don't be bringing nobody no yellow flowers. No sunflowers, nothing like that. That mean y'all ass cheating, y'all getting separated, or somebody finna kick the bucket. Okay, Russia. Okay, Russia. All right, what's next? 17. Sweeping feet. All right, we back to at least one I recognize. Now, this comes from Brazil. South America, Brazil. If you happen to be on a cleaning spree in Brazil, you will want to steer clear of brooms, or at least be careful. South Americans believe that if your feet are swept over by a broom, you will remain single for the rest of your life. The curse can be broken if you immediately spit on the broom. The exact origins of this superstition are unknown, but legend has it that a woman who cannot keep house does not a good wife make. So if you are in Central America and somebody sweep your feet or you sweep over your own feet with the broom and you don't spit on it, is it a time frame on that? You got to spit on it instantly? Or you got is it like a statute of limitations? Can you spit on it like later in the week? What if you want to be single? Is it okay to sweep over your own feet or let somebody sweep your feet if you just want to be single? What if you don't want nobody? You just want to be by yourself and live your best life. Just sweep your feet. Just sweep your feet. But then if you change your mind, just find that same broom, spit on it, and the curse is lifted. Whew. Last one, y'all. Last one. 18. Itchy palms. This is black person's favorite one right here. This is the black people's favorite superstition. From the Caribbean. I ain't even get that far. From the Caribbean. This is black people's favorite superstition right here. Depending which palm of your hand begins to itch, you may find yourself in the Caribbean with a bit of extra spending money. Or in the red, depending on which hand is itching. It is a common belief that if an itchy left palm, if your left palm itches, that means you will owe money soon. That means you're going to have to come out of money. So if this palm itching, that means you're going to have to come up out some money. Whereas if an itchy right palm comes to be, that means you're going to get some money coming your way. There is an explanation that might tell us why there is such a distinction. The left hand seems to hold passive energy and the right hand active energy, which symbolically could explain the coming in and out of money. So y'all remember that. This hand itching? Your ass owe somebody some money. You got to start spending some money. This hand itching? You about to get paid. All right, what's next? All right, let me see. So those are the top 18 superstitions. All right, now what are the most superstitious countries? These are the most superstitious countries. I don't want to close. How you get out of this? I don't want that. Close. All right. Top 10 superstitious countries. India is the most superstitious, which is interesting because none of the 18 superstitions that I read were from India, I don't think. China, so we had Chinese. All right, Chinese is the second most superstitious country. Greece, because we had Greece. They was on the list for some of them weird superstitions. USA, you know it because it's a melting pot here, so people come from all over the place. You know, we got all kinds of superstitions that just drug in from different parts of the world. The Philippines is number 5. New Zealand is number 6. Japan is number 7. 8 is Egypt, because I saw all these other ones. Yeah, they all on the list of coming up with these crazy superstitions. Number 9 is France. They was on the list. And number 10 is Mexico. All right, those are the top 10 most superstitious countries. Now, let's look at the top 10 9 superstitions that black folks believe in. All right, these are superstitions. Eating collard greens and black-eyed peas on New Year's Day is good luck. Every person above the age of 60 nowadays believes that. They believe that if you eat collard greens and black-eyed peas on New Year's Day, you gonna have good luck. They also believe that on New Year's Eve, you gotta have some money in your pocket before the clock strikes 12. Because if you don't, that means you're gonna be broke for the rest of the year. I didn't have money in my pocket when the clock struck 12. My ass was still broke for an entire year, so I ain't getting behind that one. What's the second one? Opening an umbrella indoors. Man, listen. Try to open an umbrella in a black person's house. You will get the sleeves beat up off you, pushed out. Don't open no umbrella in no black person's house. That I don't even know. What does it mean? It say it comes from ancient belief that archaeologists have discovered paintings, blah, 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 blah. I don't even say what it means. It's suspected that the foundation of this myth emerged from ancient Egypt in 1200 BC. Open up, upset divine being. No, oh, you would upset Ra, the sun god. So don't open no umbrella in the house. All right, we already talked about knocking on wood. If the sun is shining while it's raining, the devil is beating his wife. I ain't gonna even lie. The other day, it was raining here. Sun was shining bright. It was raining buckets. I say the devil beating her ass right now. The devil is wearing his wife out. I didn't even know the devil was married. I mean, because who gonna marry the devil? I mean, I didn't even know he was dating. I don't know if he found her on an app or something, but I didn't even know the devil was married. But apparently they're not going to be married long if he keep beating her ass. But that probably ain't true either because he been beating her ass at least as long as I've been in the world and I'm 54. So maybe she like that kind of stuff, man. Maybe that's what she into. It says this folktale is more of a saying common to the southern region of North America. However, according to the idioms, it was allegedly first stated in a French stage play in 1703. The idiom was later used by writer Jonathan Swift in 1738 before it was mentioned again in Richard Edwards' book, Weather Lore. Yeah, we used to hear that all the time. If it was raining and the sun was shining, the devil was beating his wife. Yes. All right, what's next? That's number 4. Number 5, it's bad luck to place your purse on the floor. Fellas, If you was a little boy and your mama or granny or somebody, auntie said, hold my purse, and you tried to sit that purse on the floor, they would grab a mark in your shirt that would not come unloose until you washed it. My grandmother was a pincher. My grandmother would pinch me, man. Don't sit her purse, her pocketbook on the floor, man. You asking for it. It said this ingrained belief, mostly heard from grandmothers and other elderly women, what I just said, actually comes from Chinese culture. I did not know that. A purse on the floor is money out the door. An ancient proverb states, meaning that it's bad feng shui to place your purse on the ground because it shows a lack of respect for the order of things. In addition, the action could symbolize an indifference to finances since purses usually hold valuable items, including money. Don't sit your granny's purse on the floor. Don't do it. You get yourself in trouble. Number 6, if your ears are ringing, somebody is talking about you. God, every last one of these I have heard and said. My ears ring. Somebody must be talking about me. Yeah, somebody talking about me, man. I don't know who it is, but they need shit. They talking about me. Says more than 2,000 years ago, Roman philosopher Pliny the Elder. That sounds like a rapper's name. Shit, that's going. I think when I'm gonna become an old school rapper, and that's gonna be my new hip hop name, Pliny the Elder. Pliny the Elder, baby. Hey, your man Pliny the Elder right here. Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's me, Pliny the Elder. Crafted an encyclopedia for natural history containing a theory of Middle Ages per Daily Sabah. The belief stated that if someone's ears were ringing, medically known as tinnitus, that's what Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, had, they were being discussed among the angels. Oh, the angels are talking about you. No, wait, there's 2 sets of angels. Shit, devil's angels, hell's angels, and good angels. I hope it's the good angels talking. All right, number 7. If a dream includes fish, somebody's pregnant. Tell me you ain't never heard that before. Tell me you ain't never heard that before. That means you lying. That you lying. If you ain't never heard that before, I had a dream about fish. Your grandmothers will always say, somebody dream about fish. They can say the smell of breast milk. They know somebody. If you dream about fish, someone is pregnant. It says the origin of this folklore wasn't easy to discover. Fish have been a common theme in many cultures and entertainment as they've been included in art, books, films, and more. When reproducing, they release a ton of eggs, up to 1,000 a minute. Since fish are fruitful during reproduction, it was deemed a sign of fertility when they appear in someone's, particularly a woman's, dream. So I wonder if it has anything to do with sperm, because sperm look like little fishes. Yes, I said fishes. Sperm look like little fishes. And when a dude let go, it be millions of little sperms and shit swimming around and trying to fertilize eggs. So maybe that's where the correlate. They ain't add that. That's my own interpretation. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. That's what I thought. Number 8. A bird flying into a home means bad luck or death. Oh my God. This is Celtic culture. All right. More specifically, crows and ravens were a sign of sickness or death. Whether a bird made it inside or came near the outside of a home, it foreshadows someone in the family will soon suffer from bad luck or pass away. You know how many crows live in my neighborhood? There be crows everywhere. We're going to pray that don't ever come to, because if that was the case, it wouldn't be nobody left. It wouldn't be nobody left but people like in the desert. There ain't no trees, ain't no crows in the desert. All right, what's the last one? Number 9. If your hand itches, you'll receive money. All right, we already talked about that. All right, y'all. So that's my show for today. So listen, if you know of some superstitions that I did not discuss or talk about, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you know of any superstitions that exist that I did not discuss because, yeah, there are a lot. And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the superstitions that I read, I literally, the history behind them, to be quite honest, make absolutely no sense to me. But I guess they didn't have to because they were so long ago. But this just goes to show that we just be passing on traditions for decades and centuries to come, and we have no idea of their origin. I know damn well I'm not the only person that, one, didn't know about some of these superstitions, and two, the ones I did know about had no clue of what they actually meant. Good luck, bad luck, all of them. The whole thing with the mirror and the 7 years bad luck, the knocking on the wood and all that. Yeah, some of that stuff I had no idea what it meant. Anyway, let me know let me know your superstitions in the comments. Let me know if there's one that I missed. Let me know anything you want to let me know about the superstitions. Like I said, black folks, we got a long history of funny superstitions, man. So, all right, that's the show for today, man. Remember, if you would like to support the channel, by all means, the easiest thing that you can do is to click that subscribe button and the reminder bell, and you never have to miss another video. If you like the video, leave a comment and give it a thumbs up. Please tell a friend. Please share these videos. Help me grow my channel. If you would like to help the channel grow in other ways, you can most definitely swing by and check out my website. I have lots of merch for sale. I have t-shirts, books, music. I have all sorts of stuff for sale available. Also, underneath each one of my videos on my page, my shop is linked. So if you just want to swing by and pick up a shirt, just click the shirt. It'll take you to that direct shirt. If you click the home button on the shirt page, on the shop page, it'll take you to the main page where you can see all of the products. So yeah. So if you want to support the channel like that, hey, I would be more than appreciative of any single thing that you do. So, all right. So that's it for today's show, y'all. This has been Totally Disgusted with your man, Derek Andre. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Be peace, be love, be one. I'll see you in the next episode. And don't be out there being superstitious. Do not be out there being superstitious. All right. Don't be out there doing that. Let it go. Just let it go. All right. I love y'all. Peace. This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. Yeah, that was wrong. Let's try this one. Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.